So for this Kwanzaa Reflectathon, I'm already over here crying, thinking about, so I'll talk about this later in the video, or maybe I'll put this clip at the end. I don't even know if this clip will make the video, but before I do my videos, I usually do like a rough talk through in my mind or whatever of what I plan to say, and I'm planning to read a excerpt. Is that the word? Yeah, an excerpt out of the book, just to bring in the tone, I guess, or I don't know, just to bring y'all into the story a little bit more. I know I've done a book review, but I wanted this video to focus on unity, since that's today's word, and I just I don't know, I'm just so thankful for this book, and so thankful for George M. Johnson's vulnerability in this book, and just I have thoughts, but I will share more after I eat breakfast and do all that good stuff. But wow, the book hits you in your heart chakra if just thinking about the reading experience just makes you so. Anyways, I will be back. Hey y'all, I had a whole day. I did eat breakfast, I went on my walk, I finished some work stuff, but I completely forgot to record right after I ate. And you know how we have daylight for 3 hours a day now since daylight savings is a thing. So, but I'm back. I'm Caleb, by the way. I use he, they pronouns, and today is the first day of Kwanzaa, so happy Kwanzaa. And today's word, or centering word, is Umoja. And the book that I chose for Umoja is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, who is this is his, I think he uses he and they pronouns, so I'm going to use both of those pronouns interchangeably throughout the video. So this is their memoir manifesto, and it is an amazing book, which I have a book review on, going into detail about what I loved about this book. So I'm not gonna rephrase everything I said in that video, but I did want to focus on unity, and I feel like this book displays unity, which is the English version of Umoja, just through how George's story, they were talking about how even as George was exploring masculinity, or exploring their queerness, their family, specifically their grandma, comes to mind, how their grandma was there for them no matter what. And so I feel that familyness and unitedness within his family was something that was constant and very, very seen throughout this book, which is why I feel this is a great book to display unity. Also, I'm gonna read a excerpt from the afterword, which I feel exemplifies unity as far as within the Black queer community, because I don't really feel there's many books out there like this, and so this is a step in the right direction to sort of building and creating a sense of unity within the Black queer community. And I'm sure there are other books, but I feel this book, as you'll see in my review, it was the most just this book really just touched me in a way no other book has, especially since it was just written in such a, there's really, the words to describe this book is so hard, because it's yes, he was telling his story, and his story was super relatable to me, but I don't know what about his story, what made it more relatable to me than the other queer stories that I read. Maybe it was the vulnerability, maybe it was I don't know, I just think that the specific stories like they had just really related to my upbringing, and how I felt I was and still am to this day navigating gender. And yeah, okay, let me read this excerpt. Yeah. There were no books for me to read in order to understand what I was going through as a kid. There were no heroes or icons to look up to and emulate. There were no roadmaps or guidelines for the journey. And again, because I know there wasn't and still isn't much out there, I made it my original goal to get this right. In working on this book, I brought to life a lot of stories involving a Black family dynamic that isn't often talked about. A family that is queer affirming while still learning about and navigating difficult spaces. That right there. That unity. I released the deepest and darkest things about my past in the hopes that someone might see a reflection of themselves in the words and know they are not alone, and they too can grow and thrive, and so that they may not make the many missteps I took along the road. But the most valuable thing I hope this book will teach others, as it has taught me, is that there isn't always a solution, that sometimes some things just end the way that they end, that some processes are always going to be an ongoing thing. That the 5-year-old me wasn't the 15-year-old me, wasn't the 25-year-old me, and won't be the future me. That there are some things I just don't have the answer to, but I have my story, the story that has now been told. So if nothing else, we now have a start. Now I know my future will not be in, what is that called? Like audiobook narration. But I definitely recommend the audiobook for this book, or the physical copy. It's beautiful. Even like the spine is beautiful. And yeah, I again give all my like love and joy and gratitude to George M. Johnson for sharing their story and for just giving me like hope and an example of, you know, like what it means to be queer and Black in America, or just in the world, period. And just giving me like, I don't know, something to look forward to. Because like it's one thing to read a story that's just like fictional or just made up, but then to also read a story that is about someone who is still alive, and then to be able to like go learn about them on Instagram was just such a, like he also has like he is a journalist and does like LGBTQ activism like as his like day job as well, and advocates for HIV as well. He is like known for being HIV positive. But again, all these things I didn't know from reading the book. I knew from like, you know, Googling him afterwards and like, you know, trying to figure out everything I could about them and listening to all these author interviews and whatnot. Anyways, I'm on a tangent now. But this is my book for Unity. I will see y'all tomorrow in the next video. I think I'm gonna record these all right now so then I don't forget like I did today. Anyways, have a good one. Bye. Wait, real quick. If you would like to participate, and Jerry is the person who came up with this Kwanzaa Reflectathon challenge, and I will link her original video in the description below. And if you have a book that represents unity that you can think of, go ahead and comment that below. If not, comment something that relates to this cover. So maybe a flower, Black person, I don't know, the word blue or the color blue. A flower would be really cute because all these flowers also have meanings. I don't know all those meanings right now, but this is why you should watch author interviews, because they explain like the cover and all these like intricate parts about like the creation of the book, and that is just so, yeah. Okay, this video has taken a turn and lots of tangential, you know, things, but that's where my energy's at now. I hope you are having a good one. Happy Kwanzaa.